Welcome to MINDSHOCK. This is your host, Bruce McGuire, and we are back. The order of the day today is dissecting the film The Glass House with Leelee Sobieski, a thriller from way back in 2001. Released September 14th, 2001. If you want to help support the channel, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Help support the help support the channel that way. Just looking at the live chat here, making sure it's working. YouTube possibly glitching again tonight. Who knows what we'll get shut down for today. And of course, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. If it's not working, like and comment on more videos. Or just go to youtube.com/MindShock. Like and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. Patrons do get priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcaster requests. You could also be a guest on the podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comments section. Or for the purpose of this live chat, in the chat, and we will tackle any and all questions. We got Heracles in the house and Sarah Catherine here. Welcome back. Some of the usual suspects. Let's see who else shows up tonight. We got spontaneous live Q&As. We got spontaneous podcasts of all kinds here on MindShock. Part of the MindShock is how many podcasts there are. Mind-shocking in both quality and quantity. Who said you had to choose? We will discuss the homework assignment, the movie of the night, The Glass House, the Leelee Sobieski psychological thriller from 2001, opening only several days after September 11th. Oh, Miranda wants to talk P. Diddy? Oh, man. I think it'd be easier to get into him in the Illuminati Humiliation Ritual podcast. Let's talk who did the homework? Who watched The Glass House with Leelee Sobieski, 2001, opening several days after September 11th? Come on, people. You a bunch of slackers. You had so much time to do the homework. I believe I issued the homework at least 2 weeks ago, because we did the next 3 movies. We did The Game, then The Glass House, which we're going to go over right now, and then next time it's The Hidden, and perhaps we should do the remake of Point Break after that. The Glass House, I had actually only seen it twice. I had watched it once right at the time of the release. I think I didn't watch it in the theater. I watched it when it first came out on VHS, Video Home System, one of the greatest formats in the history of formats. Some people like Betamax, but VHS was still pretty cool, especially SVHS. And then they were rolling out the high-def VHS when the format switches were happening. So, The Glass House. What did everybody think of this movie? The reason I mention it is because it is such a solid psychological thriller. I think The Game might have reminded me, or was it another movie? There was a reason why I mentioned it. Because it was just a very, very... Lakeview Terrace. Lakeview Terrace was the first homework assignment recommended by somebody in the chat. And then that made... Yeah, watching Lakeview Terrace, because I had never seen it. I remember watching the trailer for it in the movie theater. But I had never actually seen the movie until a couple weeks ago, when a listener recommended it. And I was watching it, and Lakeview Terrace had a lot of problems. The setup was great. The first half was really great. But I think they squandered a lot of the setup. It could have been a lot better. All the pieces were there. So let's talk Glass House. Yeah, let me go over the plot here. Which, by the way, like, Leelee Sobieski never really made it. Like, at a super high level. She was really, which is strange, because I mean, this is mine. Everybody know the Leelee Sobieski story, or no? So apparently, I mean, it was really shady, the whole Leelee Sobieski situation, because she was an Eyes Wide Shut 1999. I believe she was only 17 years old in the movie. And apparently Kubrick put her in the role of the unclothed people walking around during the rituals. And she was 17 at that time. So that's bonkers for a lot of reasons, not specifically because of the role. Well, yes, because of the role, but also because of all of the activity going on around her in those scenes, which is really bizarre. So you got Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman with her, I mean, the two of them, whoa, with their backgrounds, Illuminati connections, Kubrick himself, and then they're putting this teenager in this situation. Obviously, I'm not gonna put any, I mean, I could put something on screen from not that scene, but I mean, it's just kind of crazy how the movie is just like, you can watch it on any streaming, like, apparently nobody cared. That's kind of weird to me. I mean, call me crazy, but that seems kind of weird to me. I don't know. Is that just me? Like, nobody bats an eye. And you know what's kind of weird? Okay, let's say nobody batted an eye at the time it was made, but why is nobody seems to care now either? So obviously I'm not gonna put up the images from, all those scenes, the orgy scenes and all that, but she's in them. She's one of the unclothed people walking around. All of these adults include, does anybody find that, am I the only person that found that weird? And nobody talks about it either. Like, I didn't know this until way after my deep dives into the Illuminati in Hollywood many years after the movie was made, because who would have actually thought that? I mean, she looks like she could easily be 20 there, so it's not like it would raise an alarm immediately, but once you double check and find out, like, Eyes Wide Shut is a very popular movie. I mean, all conspiracy theorists have seen it. It was popular even among non-conspiracy theorists. I mean, Stanley Kubrick, his final film, I mean, it was all over the world in film festivals. Like, literally everybody saw the movie. Nobody double-checked her age. Like, that's kind of weird. I mean, there's all sorts of releases that need to be signed. I mean, was she an emancipated minor or something? Let me look up her background, because it was kind of weird. So from Illuminati humiliation ritual standpoint, you would think she would have made it really big after that movie. I mean, she definitely got elevated, but not, I don't know if she ever really officially became an A-lister. So, let's see. Wow, her father-in-law is Martin Kimmel, a real estate developer who co-founded Kimco Realty Corporation, the largest builder of strip malls in the U.S. Well, okay. So if she went on to marry this guy, perhaps that was perhaps her initiation ritual was the initiation ritual in Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, that's weird. Oh yeah, she was also in Joyride with Paul Walker. How everything comes full circle, does it not? Because we were just talking Paul Walker and Joyride like a couple weeks before on a Q&A. So he dies on a Joyride in a Porsche. Leelee Sobieski is in that movie as well. Came out the same year as The Glass House. Then she's in Kubrick's Illuminati opus, Eyes Wide Shut, with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman with her father and ties to the Illuminati. She ends up marrying the largest strip mall real estate mogul, real estate developer. She also auditioned for Claudia in Interview with the Vampire, another Tom Cruise movie, 94. She lost the part to to Kirsten Dunst. Wow. So her first role in a studio film was actually Martin Short's, the daughter of Martin Short's character in the Tim Allen comedy Jungle to Jungle. Who remembers that? Wow. I totally saw that movie and I remember none of it. I remember absolutely none of it. Who saw Jungle to Jungle? Is that another Illuminati opus? Can we dissect the movie Jungle to Jungle? We got Tim Allen, and then we have also, wait a second, Jungle to Jungle. I know I saw this movie. Why do I remember absolutely nothing of this movie? Sam Huntington is in it? Interesting. Leelee Sobieski is in it as well. I mean, I'm sure everything is coincidental, obviously. So Jungle to Jungle was 97. I mean, Tim Allen needs his own podcast as well. Okay, so nobody remembers Jungle to Jungle in here? Miranda says she remembers it a little bit. Oh, Awesome Town Matt bringing up Interview with a Vampire. Interview with the Vampire, Mandela Effect. Indeed. Indeed it is. I spent more time than I would like to admit on just that, but save that for the Mandela Effect podcast. So, no, what was weird to me, because, yeah, I mean, so Use Your Illusion said, having her appearance in the movie as she did, could it be a way to demoralize people that know and not say anything? So here's the thing, like with fashion models and stuff, they walk the runway, like they're pretty confident, so I don't know yet if it was just a modeling thing. Obviously, I'll be going over this in the Hollywood humiliation ritual. It's not like they had her partake in like the orgy sections, even though they were going on around her. That might have been a lot more crazy, but still, it depends. That's the end. I'll be going over this in the Hollywood Humiliation Ritual podcast, because there's a clear difference between, like, you know, French art movies. You know, there was a lot of weird movies like that. I don't believe those are Illuminati humiliation rituals, because a lot of those actors and actresses, they never really go on to any kind of fame and fortune, and it really seems like they're doing it for the art and they're not being humiliated. Where there seems to be quite a big difference in certain Hollywood movies where it looks like it's specifically humiliation ritual going back to like Illuminati Freemasonry. I'll be going over that this weekend on the big deep dive on Hollywood humiliation rituals. I didn't even have that podcast planned when I was talking about the Glass House. It's just another coincidence that Leelee Sobieski is in the Glass House. She was also in Joyride with Paul Walker, and she's in this Tim Allen movie, Jungle to Jungle. This is before her major rise to fame. So it seems like, so she had these major roles, and then in Eyes Wide Shut, she has a very minor role and has to appear unclothed in this ritual scene, which was kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know. Is her real birth date actually her birth date? So it says here, so she was born in 83, 93. Wait, 93. Wait, no way. She was 16? She was 16 or 17 in that scene. Definitely not 18. So, the wiki, okay. So her mother was also an American film producer, screenwriter, and she worked as Sobieski's manager. See, that makes it creepier. What kind of mom would volunteer her daughter for that? I don't know. That's really weird. Unless she was already like a runway model or like an art model, you know, all this other stuff where it was no big, particular in Europe where it's like not really that big of a deal, because then it's technically might not be a humiliation ritual, but in the US it's not real, like it's weird. It's definitely weird. So she went to the Trevor Day School, studied literature and fine art at Brown University. Okay. Well, here's the thing. So she studied fine art. I mean, I don't know what her jobs were. If she was like a figure drawing model or something, I guess that if she was, then it might not be as. I mean, obviously her age. That's really weird. But wait a second. She would have. That would have been after though, because if she was 17 if she was 16 or 17 in the movie, I mean, she's going to college after that. But I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely weird, no matter how you look at it. So the Trevor Day School, she graduated in 2001. So wait a second. So she hadn't even graduated high school when she was doing this Kubrick Illuminati ritual scene. Wow, this is crazy. I don't know that much about the Trevor Day School, an independent day school in New York City in Manhattan. It was founded in 1930, day school for the Church of the Heavenly Rest, Episcopalian church located on Fifth Avenue. Okay, interesting. So I don't know what kind of connections this school might have to Illuminati or otherwise. So okay, wait a second. So apparently, her first really big movie was Deep Impact. I don't remember her character in that movie. That was 1998. The Meteor movie, Deep Impact. Huh. I don't remember that she was in that. But then she was in A Soldier's Daughter Never Cries. This makes it weirder, though. Because, so she's been in all these movies. Like A Soldier's Daughter Never Cries. This looks like a indie movie. This looks like some kind of indie movie. Chris Christopherson. So she's already got this acclaim. Like, isn't this backwards? Don't actresses usually do like B movies or these roles have to do like, you know, these kind of gratuitous type scenes before they get famous? So she's already kind of big, and Kubrick just reaches out to her mom and says, by the way, we need to have your teenage daughter in this, like, orgy scene. Oh, okay. Let's do it. Like, how do you think that conversation went down? And why would she want to do it? It's kind of also weird, too, because if she's already... it seems like she's already established. Yeah, this is kind of weird. This is really weird. Because... she was already getting established, not just in general for like Deep Impact, these big blockbuster movies, but apparently in A Soldier's Daughter, it's like I haven't seen this. It's like a highly acclaimed indie drama. Like, so she's got critical acclaim. She's also got huge budget blockbusters. Deep Impact did $349 million worldwide. Why? So she just wants to work with Kubrick that bad that they're willing to just throw her into this orgy scene, like, randomly, when she's a teenager and hadn't graduated high school, and her mom was just like, oh, okay, let's do it. That's just really weird. I don't know. You know, she also got an Emmy nomination for Joan of Arc, the TV movie, 99. I think I saw that, maybe? So this is the same year that Eyes Wide Shut comes out. So what was the reason for her to do this tiny little role in Eyes Wide Shut? Was that really maybe it was an Illuminati humiliation ritual. I don't know. Because then she gets another big lead the following year in 2000. Here on Earth with Josh Hartnett and Chris Klein. I haven't seen that movie. She received a Teen Choice Award nomination and a second Golden Globe nomination in the 2001 TV film Uprising. So I guess her movie career really did pick up after. But then again, how do we know it wouldn't have when she was already in Deep Impact? She was already getting critical acclaim in A Soldier's Daughter. So how do we really know? It's just the thing is with Eyes Wide Shut, the coincidence theorists can't really say anything about that. Because even the most devout coincidence theorists, I mean, the movie is literally about secret societies. Like, for them to think that there's nothing to see here regarding Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman, I mean, it's just really weird. Everybody's seen Eyes Wide Shut, right? Everybody knows what I'm talking about here. Everybody knows what I'm talking about right here. This is not like a family-friendly film. Coincidentally, it's also Kubrick's final film. And supposedly it took quite a long time to shoot. So then Sobieski is in Joyride. Now, Joyride is like, this is kind of weird. This also doesn't make any sense. So if this was Illuminati calling card ritual, then, because she does get these huge roles after that. And then she goes to this random, like, teen thriller Joyride movie. I like the movie, but this seems like a huge step down here. I mean, even The Glass House seems like a step down. Now, and The Glass House was panned by critics. And then she did 3 movies that year in 2001, big year. My First Mister, American comedy drama, which did get good reviews. Interesting. Then she did a small indie movie, Lidol, 2002. Then she did the drama Max with John Cusack. Now that's a guy who needs another a podcast as well. So in Lidol, she plays the mistress of a Jewish art dealer who mentors a young Adolf Hitler. That's an interesting role for her. So she did that in 2002. Does anybody find Leelee Sobieski's filmography kind of curious? So she rises to prominence before Kubrick and those weird Eyes Wide Shut scenes. Then she gets some huge roles right after Eyes Wide Shut, and then there's this massive downgrade. And then she's doing indie films. I mean, that's kind of weird. Isn't that kind of weird? Nobody finds that kind of weird? I don't know. None of this really makes any sense. Huh. She was also in the Wicker Man remake with Nick Cage. Perhaps that sealed the end of her career. My eyes! My eyes! The bees! Yes, Sphinx Bear, exactly. Her trajectory was back, well, not exactly backwards, because right after Eyes Wide Shut, she gets huge roles for that year. So the trajectory matches, kind of. But then after just 1 year, it's like this massive downgrade. The only thing I could think of, did she threaten to maybe blow the whistle on something? And then all of a sudden, she's not really getting big movies anymore. Actually, she did another big one, 88 Minutes with Pacino. How have I not seen this? Or have I seen it? 88 Minutes? I don't think I've seen... How have I not seen this? Al Pacino and Leelee Sobieski. How have I not seen this movie? That's weird. So she did get some random bigger movies, but what's kind of weird, I don't know if she ever did a movie bigger, like in a main role, bigger than Deep Impact. I mean, that wasn't that big of a role, but because that did 349 mil. Yeah, her trajectory seems backwards, other than the blip with that Eyes Wide Shut seems to have shot her to like superstardom for 1 year, and then almost nothing, then back to the obscure indies with a couple of random bigger movies here and there. And then she's doing TV, French TV. She speaks French, interesting. She did a bunch of, yeah, she just does a lot of indie films. So then she's with Pacino. So 2008 was kind of a comeback year for her. So she does Wicker Man remake with Nick Cage in 2006. What a film. And then 2008, she has like a mini comeback. She does 88 Minutes with Pacino. And then she does In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale. I haven't seen that. It's a Uwe Boll film. I mean, that guy's terrible. I actually kind of wanted to check that out. Or that was 2007, 2008. And that's with Jason Statham. She actually received a Razzie Award nomination for Worst Supporting Actress for a dungeon siege tale. Then she goes direct to video for Night Train 2009. Huh. And now she's back to doing small roles. So she does Public Enemies 2009, Michael Mann's movie. And she has a really small role. It must have been small, because I've seen that movie, and I don't remember her in it. This is Johnny Depp and Christian Bale. I do not even remember her in that movie. So she's going back to doing small roles. Then she's doing random TV appearances. Then she did Acts of Violence 2010. Did I see that? I might have seen that. I think that... Let me see if this is the movie I'm thinking of. Acts of Violence. Oh, no. No, I haven't actually. Okay. Huh. That looks pretty low budget. Yeah, then she's doing a bunch more indie movies and random TV appearances. And then she's basically retired. Yeah, she's been retired since 2012. I mean, this has to be one of the most bizarre movie careers ever. I mean, this is truly bizarre. Because she's already kind of big time before doing a random little role in Eyes Wide Shut, where she has to parade around unclothed as a teenager who didn't even graduate high school. And her mom is her manager, landing her that role. Supposedly. It says her mom is her manager. It doesn't say specifically for that film, but it doesn't list any other managers, so I don't know. And then 2012, she's retired completely. So apparently she became an artist. And she has exhibits in galleries. Interesting. Huh. Very interesting. She began dating him. Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, she began dating. He's a fashion designer, Adam Kimmel. Now, who's the son of the largest strip mall developer in the U.S., Martin Kimmel. So she began dating him in 2009. That's pretty far removed from Eyes Wide Shut 99. So who knows if that's related. She said she stopped making movies mainly because of her kids, so I don't know. Wow. Okay, check out this quote from Leelee Sobieski from What Happened to Leelee Sobieski on Vice. Vice got an interview 2019. Her comments are curious here. She said, I don't do movie stuff anymore. Apparently this was 2016 where she gave this interview to US Weekly. I don't do movie stuff anymore. I am just focused on my kids. I think that's mainly why I stopped. Also, 90% of acting roles involve so much sexual stuff with other people, and I don't want to do that. So that's kind of curious statement there because, first of all, I don't think that's entirely true. There's still plenty of movies, you got family movies, and you do have thrillers that don't have, obviously the majority of big studio movies and TV shows are just absolute filth now. But back in 2012, they weren't. There was still decent stuff out in 2012, 2013. Now would be crazy. But, yeah, this is really weird. I don't think she needed the money ever. Like, her parents were well off. I don't think she ever needed the money. And it seemed like she was already kind of big time before she even got into Eyes Wide Shut. Now, here's an interesting comment on working with Kubrick. So, in 1999, she did an interview. So, this is what she said about Tom Cruise. He was very kind and considerate with me. And she said her most vivid recollection of Kubrick, who died soon after filming finished, was that he, quote, genuinely seemed to hold something magic. This was from an interview, 24 Things in the Life of Leelee Sobieski, Wound Magazine. Or is it Wound Magazine? I guess it's Wound Magazine, London. He holds something magic? What does that mean? So she was like 16, 17 shooting that movie. I don't know. I still think that whole Eyes Wide Shut situation is really weird. And what kind of a mom would want her daughter to have that specific role, especially after she had already landed leading roles to both critical acclaim and smaller roles in huge blockbusters like Deep Impact? It just seemed like she didn't really need to do that movie. Or if she really wanted to, it could have been a different role, right? I mean, there were other scenes other than those ritual and orgy scenes, but whatever. Okay, so let's... Use Your Illusions says her way of saying he practiced dark arts. Or maybe he wanted to blow the whistle on the dark arts. I mean, I don't know. Also, I don't buy it. Her excuse for leaving the movies. There's plenty of movies where there's just, there's plenty of rated G and PG movies out there, even if they're not necessarily family friendly. There are movies without, debauchery and degenerate content. Like, not a ton, but, they're out there, and she's a big name, so she clearly could have done them. So, not to mention all the indie movies, of which many of them are very, very decent, and she clearly had no problem doing indies before, so she could have still kept working if she wanted to. So it seemed like she wasn't saying it was a time thing. She was saying it was, she wasn't happy with the roles, which makes sense. Maybe she should get a different manager other than her mother. But anyway, let's finally discuss The Glass House. So I really like this film. I think it's one of the more solid psychological thrillers. Everybody put your rating in the chat of what you rated this film, and then I'll give my rating for the people that actually did their homework and watched it. Shifty Eyes Shady said Leelee was after the artistic aspect. It does kind of sort of make sense that she agreed to do that role in Eyes Wide Shut because of that, especially if she was studying art in college and stuff. It could maybe make sense. I still think it's weird that if her mom got her that role. That just seems really weird to me. And there's plenty of other movies she could have done. Her acting in The Glass House was phenomenal. I mean, for someone that young to be that believable in that situation, like, it was so nuanced. Like, 1 out of 10, what is the rating for The Glass House? After everybody that actually watched it and did their homework puts in their rating, I will give mine. The Fallen Slaves Us All said, don't throw rocks if you live in a glass house. Homework done. Well, it's kind of funny that the characters were the glasses and they lived in a glass house, and the title of the movie is The Glass House. It was just a really well-made movie with an excellent atmosphere. It didn't have that many big set pieces or anything, or big action scenes, but it was pretty good. Justin Johnson rates The Glass House 6.66. It's not really an Illuminati movie. It really isn't. It really isn't. Even though she's coming off Eyes Wide Shut and Joan of Arc. Yeah, her career trajectory was a little weird. It would seem like this would be more of a starting actress's movie. Not an actress that had already worked with Kubrick and done these huge blockbusters like Deep Impact, but Okay, so we have rating Sphinx Bear rated at 9.11, Justin Johnson 33. Come on, this isn't Eyes Wide Shut. Denise Snyder gave it a 10. Oh, Denise really likes it. I'm curious, Denise, what are your other top psychological thriller movies? Because the psychological thriller it seems like the late 90s, early 2000s were like there were a lot of really good ones that came out. And I haven't really watched a good one in a long time. So Denise gives it a 10. I Am Ion's Cat gives it an 8. Oh, Sphinx Bear was joking with his 9.11. He didn't watch it. How dare you? You got to do your homework, man. Use Your Illusion said perhaps she didn't want to sacrifice her firstborn. Retaliation against her mother. She has morals questionable. Very possible. Very possible. I mean, that could make sense, you know? That could. Yes, 1 to 10 scale. Put in your, and also she seems very genuine too. So actually, Use Your Illusions. I would say that is a pretty good theory, especially if she knew what was up and specifically didn't want her kids to going into Hollywood either. So that would, yeah, I think that, yeah, I mean, I think you might have nailed it there. That seems to check the boxes. Also, I'm sure when she was that young, she didn't even really know what was going on in Hollywood in the first place. Denise says, I didn't really watch many movies until coming across your channel. Oh, wow. I mean, it's weird. You got to know what you're watching to not be caught by the propaganda. So when you're extremely young, it's like more important not to watch stuff. When you're older and you kind of know what's up and you understand the symbolism and all that, then you can you can pick like more, not just more wholesome movies that might not be loaded with propaganda and symbolism, but you can also identify it and so it doesn't affect you. But when you're younger, it's kind of harder to do. I mean, obviously, most of movies coming out nowadays are pretty trash. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a solid 8.5. I mean, it is, you know, it's a solid movie. It is really solid. Now, what people don't know is that the original cut of the movie was actually close to 3 hours long. And there was an entire subplot at her new school with like a love interest and everything. I really would like to see that 3 hour cut because I don't think it's generous. The court, I was actually considering giving it a 9, but I need to see the 3 hour cut. The 3 hour cut I would not be surprised if it was a 9 or 9.5. I don't know if I've ever given it. I mean, I guess if we give Braveheart a 10, maybe Barry Lyndon a 10. I like Barry Lyndon with That's one of Kubrick's most underrated films, Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon is the movie where NASA gave him that lens so he could shoot in really low light conditions. But that aside, who knows what that lens was for? I don't know what the amount of money they spent developing and manufacturing that lens that they gave Kubrick, which he ended up using in Barry Lyndon. But Barry Lyndon, I mean, that has some of the greatest cinematography ever. Storyline's pretty solid, too. She would have been Awesome Town Matt. She would have been, I believe she was 17 in Eyes Wide Shut. She was definitely not 14 or 15. I suppose she could have been 16 depending on when the scenes were shot. Yeah, not just because she was one of the people walking around with just a mask on her face, but just because of what was going on around in the room. It was really weird. But she also apparently does like indie art. I mean, there's plenty of French movies that are very questionable. There's a lot of like 16-year-old actresses in a lot of those French movies. So, yeah, I mean, it's for a Hollywood movie, it's definitely kind of weird. It's kind of weird because, you could literally just go to the movie theater and watch the movie. I mean, she does look like she's 20, but that doesn't matter. That's just kind of weird. And nobody cared. What's even weirder is that nobody cared and nobody seems to care today. And I don't think she ever even commented on it. Yeah, I don't know. You know, the other weird thing about Eyes Wide Shut is that, I mean, if it was like a confession film for Kubrick regarding satanic Illuminati stuff, because a lot of people, a lot of normies didn't know about any of that, and they might have, I guess they were probably thinking they were just watching pure fiction. I found an interview here. I guess we could watch this interview. She did an interview on The Tonight Show in 1999. I wonder what she's gonna say here. I haven't seen this interview. Let's see what she says. Some of these interviews from the 90s are kind of crazy. Just the way they talk, and looking back at Hollywood in hindsight while watching some of these interviews is actually pretty fascinating. Because in some of them, they say things, there's a lot of double meanings in a lot of them. So let me put it up on the screen. I wonder if we're going to get shut down.
Currently starring in, or co-starring, excuse me, in Eyes Wide Shut. She just got an Emmy nomination for her work in the Joan of Arc miniseries. Only 17 years old.
Wow. So she was already 17 at the time of this interview. I think I read somewhere that she was 17 when they filmed it. Yes, Kill the Bank, you are correct. There are multiple hours cut out of Eyes Wide Shut. Awesome Town Matt, they filmed... No, she would have been 17. Okay, look at her birthday. Her birthday is 1983. Oh, wow. Maybe she could have been 16. That's even crazier. There's no way. I mean, that's just kind of bonkers. They're going to let a 16... Like, you wouldn't let a 16-year-old watch that scene being filmed, let alone be in it. I mean, this is really weird.
Bright young woman, Leelee Sobieski. Good to see you again. You know, each time
really
you get more mature. Each time I see you, you look great.
Thank you very much.
Now, you just had a birthday, right?
I did.
Oh, wow. So she was 16, because she just had her birthday. Wow, this is very disturbing. Yeah, don't talk about Brooke Shields. Man, that's terrible. But Brooke Shields had talked about that, right? Brooke Shields gave interviews, and Brooke Shields' mother, it was the same situation, right? Like, her mother was her manager and sold her out. Also, that was a lot earlier. Like, not that that's any excuse, but there were some weird movies in the 70s and early 80s. So, because, I mean, that's no excuse, obviously, but we're talking about 1998 here, which was not long ago. I mean, this was not that long ago.
17?
17.
Hey, 17. Wow. Did you get your driver's license yet, did you?
I didn't get my driver's license. I took, you know, they give those driver's ed courses.
Right.
And they show you these videos called Red Asphalt 1, Red Asphalt 2, Red Asphalt 3. And during the whole thing, all they show you is dead people sprawled out on the street.
Oh.
So instead of encouraging you to drive, I took this course and there were all these tough kids in the room with me. And I was sitting under this table and I started to cry. So I didn't get it yet.
Oh, I see. So they kept one more kid off the road. God bless them. Get me those tapes.
They did.
See, that's...
I mean, in France, you don't drive till you're 18. I think it's crazy to drive at 16.
Well, you know what's even crazier? So in France, you don't drive till you're 18, but there are like 15-year-old actresses doing all these weird movies in France. But I guess she doesn't think that's weird. I don't know.
17, it's...
Is that right? That's what it is in France? 18?
18. I mean, if you're young...
Because Joan of Arc did not drive, right?
She didn't.
That's right. I remember.
You're right.
There was no car.
She didn't. I mean, you're young and you're in
Yeah.
your car,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden there's this handsome young man, and he's on the street, and you turn around and you look, and crash, you're dead.
You know, I've done
It's
that
silly.
myself.
Really?
You know what's weird too? I mean, maybe it's just a lack of screens, but when you watch interviews from like the 90s and earlier, it's like her brain does not seem fried. Can you imagine someone who just turned 17 going on a talk show today? They're not going to be this well spoken or focused. I mean, she's literally behaving like somebody in her mid 20s, equivalent to today. I think, yeah, her father's French, I believe, and she speaks French.
Drive along, see a handsome young man, I lose my head, boom, I crash. Now, do you like cars? Do you like fast cars?
I do. I like fast cars. I know you have a lot of cars and motorcycles.
Oh, see that?
She didn't say like a single time yet. I mean, this is an impressive interview from a teenager. I mean, obviously she should not have been in that movie, but she is very well spoken.
Between boys and girls. When I was 16, the day I turned 16, I got my license. The next day, I rolled my mother's Ford Falcon. It was just, I mean, it didn't hit something. I actually rolled it, you know. See, you're very sensible. You go, well, I'm going to wait.
I'm gonna wait till I can. I love fast cars though,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's dangerous to drive fast.
Well, it is.
Also, you know what's curious? She's very measured in her responses. I mean, look how measured she is. Like, she's not misspeaking. She clearly thinks about what she's gonna say, and she says it. Like, there's clear brain processing going on in the background.
Yes, it is dangerous.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a boyfriend who has a car?
I don't have a boyfriend at the moment. I can't find anyone.
No.
And she's also speaking relatively quick. I mean, I actually have a lot of trouble listening to any Hollywood people today. I mean, maybe this has something to do with the amount of so-called medical treatments, we don't need to go into which ones, that are undergone. I mean, yes, the court of public opinion. Not all young people are idiots, but how many young people in Hollywood aren't idiots? Let's talk about Hollywood here.
See, I always hear this from these attractive young women. Now, why? You seem like you would. Why? Are you picky? Is that it?
I don't know. I don't know. I look for a young man who's creative and.
See, anybody else would have said, like, you know, but she doesn't. I mean, it's crazy. Like, she's speaking like an eloquent, intelligent human being here. It's really bizarre, actually.
Any field, you know, I don't
Yeah.
care if he's creative in sports and the way he lives in his life, or in music, or in painting, or in anything that he does. But
I'm just shocked at the lack of ums and likes. I mean, there are literal politicians who have spent their whole life speaking, and they can't put together their sentences. This is not like most grown-ups can't put their sentences together like this. I mean, look at just the actresses and actors of the past 10 years, like even in their mid-20s. They can't talk this well.
something always ends up not working out.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, this is making me sad. Who said court of a public opinion says which may in itself be tragic? Because, well, my crush is on the 90s. Because back then, it's like people were real humans who could actually have normal conversations with brain function. I think that's a thing of the past nowadays. I mean, call me crazy. Like, I can't remember the last... I've watched some talk show interviews with actors and actresses, even in their late 20s, who are nowhere near this well-spoken. No, Aaron's Energy says, now you know why Kubrick cast her. But I don't even think she had that many lines. I mean, I don't know.
Are young men your age?
I mean, look at Jay Leno. Young men your age. He's a talk show host, and he's stumbling more than this kid.
Mature?
Awesome Town Matt asked, did Kubrick know her age? You know what? That's a good point, Awesome Town Matt. Is it possible her mom lied and said she was 18? That's very possible. That is very possible. And with how well-spoken she is, it's not like they would know.
Well, all men of any age are immature. You know?
Wait, what? What?
women often say that, but on top of that, women are also very immature, but they just hide.
That looks like Pee Wee Herman to me. I was trying to find verification on why Pee Wee Herman is there, but he looked kind of different in '99, but I don't know. Pee Wee Herman was on Jay Leno in 1999. I'm trying to find the same episode. Who is this guy? Is this guy not Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee Herman did a Jay Leno interview this same year. I don't know. He looked a little different in '99, though. The court of public opinion is a Pee Wee Herman fan. He's sure it's him. Well, it would be awfully coincidental if it's not him because he did do an appearance in '99. But the photos of '99 I'm looking at, he looks a little different than he looks here. So I don't know, but I mean, there were quite a few guys that looked like that in '99, but that might be him. That's weird.
It with the sophistication and table manners, you know.
Right, and yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Look at this guy. Yeah. Now, how about being tall? Is that? Do you find are men intimidated by that?
Men are kind of intimidated by that. I often get, I'd really like you if you weren't so tall. You know, and I'd say, oh, and if I were shorter, what makes you think that I would go out with you? You know?
Wow, she's funny. This is weird. This is definitely kind of weird. So, is the theory, her and her mom, they claimed, so if they claimed she was 18, 'cause, I don't know, if, you know what else is kind of weird though? If Kubrick is trying to blow the whistle on something, would he add the layers of trying to make a point by casting an under 18-year-old for that scene, as if to add another layer of blowing the whistle? Okay, I think I found something that's even more disturbing. There's a Facebook post with a quote from her interview claiming she was too young to read the script of Eyes Wide Shut, but apparently not too young to act in those scenes. Alright, hold on a sec. This is so bizarre. And by the way, the reason this was on the watch list was not because of Eyes Wide Shut. Like, it was because The Glass House is a good movie. Okay. So here's a quote here. I don't see a source from the quote. It says that when she was cast, she was 14. Quote, I was 14. That's really young. I didn't read the script. I wasn't allowed. But I don't see a source for this interview, so I don't know if this is a real source. But they filmed over the course of several years, so she might not have actually shot the weird scenes until later, but yeah, that's still weird. Okay, I did find another interview. Oh, wow. Whoa, this interview is from last month? But it's not loading? What? I guess I could watch it with the commentary to see what they say, but I don't really like watching that movie. For a lot of different reasons. It's just a disturbing movie. I actually can't really watch anything with Nicole Kidman anymore. Okay, so here... She told another magazine in 2018, quote, "It's kind of a gross industry. It's acting, you're selling your appearance so much," end quote. Huh. So that's interesting. I mean, obviously, she knows way more than she's saying. It would be interesting if she ever wrote a book one day and kind of exposed everything. Because, I mean, she literally worked with Kubrick making a blowing the whistle Illuminati movie. Like, she should be close to the... And she's not dialed into the industry like Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise. Like, would Nicole Kidman or Tom Cruise ever fully on anybody? People probably have so much dirt on them. If nobody's got anything on her, I don't know. Oh, court of public opinion. You just opened Pandora's box here. Court of public opinion said the devil gets a piece of you every time your pick is taken. That includes movies. Hold on a second. So I've heard that. I want to probably going to do a podcast on this topic. I heard that first when I was a kid, and it haunted me because, you know, your parents like to take. We were taking Polaroids at the time, and it's interesting because I believe the Native Americans. It wasn't the devil, but I believe the oldest version of that is from Native Americans, right? Because when the colonists, when the settlers or whatever, they had cameras at some point and they wanted to take pictures of certain tribes. Now, some tribes had this saying and others didn't. So some tribes have no problem, but I believe there was like a shaman or somebody. He said that you lose a piece of your soul every time your photograph is taken. Now, what you just kind of made me think of something new, though. You made me think perhaps he saw some kind of prophecy to Hollywood. Like, so if your mom takes a Polaroid of you in happy times, not exploiting you, and you look back on it with fondness when you look at that image, I mean, does that apply? I don't know. Or that could be some kind of leftover medieval previous reset thing with black mirrors, where some kind of, you know, ancient photography. Oh, wow. Aaron's Energy 313 says, I'm also Ojibwe, confirmed. So the Ojibwe believe that as well? Why do they believe that? Because I never could find any actual explanation. So from everything that I've read, it seems like it could have been an amalgamation of some kind of a prophecy revealing the darkness of Hollywood and the Black Mirrors smartphones, because if the government is spying on you through the phone, they're technically taking your picture and video all the time, like the devil seeping your energy and your soul. Could there have been a conflation there? Because if your mom is, if a parent or a friend, you're taking a photo of good times, like an analog photo on film, not digital, nothing for manipulation, for your own purposes with zero exploitation. Does the same apply? I don't know. Court of public opinion, you're also Native. Was there ever a full explanation on why? I mean, everybody's got their photos taken, especially with the amount of CCTV out there. I mean, I actually have a lot of old books, Native American books. That was one of my primary topics of research back in the day. I'm actually going to write a book on this as well. This will be my third book. The parallels between Native American wisdom and philosophy, Celtic wisdom and philosophy, and Chinese ancient wisdom and philosophy, like particularly Taoism. There are overlaps that are so hauntingly similar. It's the Celtic threw me off a little bit, but there's one theory that when Atlantis collapsed, or one of the previous major resets, cataclysms with Atlantis, the survivors were the original natives of North America and maybe South America, and they also went to Britain, possibly connected to the King Arthur legend. And China kind of doesn't really fit unless it's something with the Himalayas. Maybe hollow earth, passageways under the earth where the Atlanteans got there too, so they carried their wisdom there. I don't know. The court of public opinion says yes, because pics were a vain act. They haven't been around that long. It used to be rare. And you'd wait until you died to take your pic. Yeah, Aaron's Energy 313 says, I've always hated the idea of selfies. Yeah, same here. I think narcissists would be too embarrassed to take selfies. Glitched OTR says they spread out from Mount Meru. Yeah, I think, again, I don't want to fall for false dichotomy fallacies. I don't want to get this crazy off track because we still have to finish this interview and then we have to finish the movie review. But these Q&As get so wild that it's fun. It's always fun, especially with logical people in the chat, so we can actually, cover all the different theories on everything. Yeah, I'm not sure we can equate all photography together, but there's definitely something to it. Like, there's something resounding about that. And I'm not 100% sure if it's based on the technology itself or if it's connected to, the state trying to take your picture or Hollywood exploiting things of that nature. Because if time is more of a circle instead of linear, a lot of these ancient shamans with all this wisdom, they might have been glimpsing maybe Hollywood or CCTV police state, like things of that nature, and they kind of put it in the same category as all photography. Maybe. Obviously I'm not claiming that's true, untrue, but I wouldn't dismiss it. I definitely would not dismiss it, especially if your soul is energy, and when you take a photo, it captures your energy. Theoretically, if energy cannot be created or destroyed, there would be energy lost, right? Just on a basic physics perspective, right? So, yeah. Awesome Town Matt, I do not know how this is not more of a story, because obviously it was a story with movies in like the 70s and 80s, especially in French movies, maybe French movies today even. But Hollywood, a Kubrick film that was released in 1999, you would think that would be huge. So, yeah, there's a few hours of unreleased footage from that as well. Okay, so let's continue here. I mean, this is making me really miss the 90s more than anything. I mean, it's like people were real people back then. Now we have a bunch of zombies walking around.
That's right. Well, that shouldn't be.
But in a nice way.
But in a nice way. No, but that doesn't, all shouldn't be. No,
it shouldn't be a problem.
Now, Eyes Wide Shut has gotten a tremendous amount of press.
Yes.
I mean, it must be odd to be in a film you're not old enough to see.
Wow, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, you can't get it. It was rated R. And then the uncut, there's also an extended cut. I think it's not that much longer, though. They still left out, I think it possibly could have been up to 3 hours. And obviously Kubrick worked in a lot of symbolism. I think that might have been his he was trying to make that his opus, and he was trying to blow the whistle on literally everything. So obviously with him dead, and some people think it's coincidental that he died so soon after filming finished. So, I mean, who's going to verify the final cut of the movie? So they could cut out everything and he would never know. Oh, Use Your Illusions posted, from what I remember reading, people thought it was black magic that caused the image, and they thought it was stealing the soul. Interesting. Awesome Town Matt asked, was it blowing the whistle or truth in plain sight? Well, both, right? Both, because people don't know what they're watching in Truth in Plain Sight.
I mean, isn't that true, though?
They let me in.
And they let you in? Because you were how old when you did this?
I was 14.
Oh,
There's no way she shot that at 14. There's no way. I don't remember how many scenes she was in, So I think a lot of her stuff actually got cut, like even regular talking scenes. So if she started, from what I read, maybe that was a cover story, but 17 is still bad. I think I read an article about it where they said she was 17 when she filmed that particular scene. But I don't know.
It's young.
Yeah, that's really young.
But you did not know what the movie was about, right?
Wait, this is even crazier. Can you... Okay, this is bonkers reality to me. I mean, we knew it was Hollyweird, but I mean, this is next level Hollyweird. Can you imagine, as a mother, reading the script, this particular character is present during some kind of orgy sequence and is unclothed other than whatever headwear. The mother agrees for the daughter to be in it at 14. The daughter at 14 is not allowed to read the script and is basically agreed for her to do this role, which she doesn't know what she has to be doing. Is this the most bonkers thing anybody has ever read? Like, this is crazy. I didn't know it was this bad. I thought they hired her later when she was 17 just for that scene. But that was my assumption. The only thing I ever read about it was like an online article that was trying to downplay it. It was like a Hollywood-sourced article. Yeah, Natalie Portman has a very weird catalog. And, wow, do you guys know... We don't need to go into Portman. Portman was already an adult for when they shot Closer. I remember this because I know somebody who worked on the film Closer. And what they required her to do, movie, but it was crazy. I mean, she was already in her 20s, but still, I think she was maybe 25. But his stories were insane because she was playing a stripper in the movie Closer, and they had her do, like, really crazy things, and she was happy to do it. It was really weird. She just turned 17 here in this interview. I don't know how many months before. She's 17 in this interview here, or at least she said she just had her 17th birthday recently in '99.
I didn't. I had a slight clue just as much as everybody else did, but I didn't read the script.
Now, you weren't allowed to read the script, right?
I wasn't allowed.
So you just did little scenes so people don't, you know, okay. When you're 14 and you're in an adult role, is it hard to... Well, I mean, you're very mature for your age. I don't imagine, though, but you know what I mean. Is it...
Well, my character had to look at Tom Cruise and find him very desirable. And at the time, when I watched Eyes Wide Shut, it was long ago, so I didn't really remember exactly what I had done. And I was watching as if I was watching somebody else, like a young girl who was 14 and not myself. And I really looked like I desired Tom Cruise to such great intensity. And at the time, I think the only thing I desired was ice cream. You know?
Well, you know what's kind of disturbing, too, is how they're playing that off. Like, this is very disturbing. And it is almost like maybe she was coached to say that, to try to downplay the weirdness. And look at Jay Leno smiling and laughing this up. This is really weird. I've never seen this interview before. I didn't know she even really talked about it. I don't remember her talking about it after this at all. But they totally glossed over and laughed about a 14 or 15-year-old being required to lust after Tom Cruise. They're probably not even going to mention the one particular scene. Like, this is really weird.
But Tom Cruise doesn't seem like a hard stretch, really. I mean, if you had to decide.
He has a very nice waist.
Now,
did she just say he has a very nice waist? Hold on, I want to know how old Tom Cruise was for Eyes Wide Shut. This is very disturbing. This interview is making the whole thing even more disturbing. It would have been less disturbing if they never mentioned it and didn't laugh about it. So he was born in '62. So he was 30. He was in his mid-30s here at this point, which is quite disturbing. And he's definitely shorter than her, which is even more disturbing.
is he your type? He has a nice waist? No, what do you mean? See, guys never think women like what they think they like. You say he has a nice waist, and why does he have what's the waist?
He was wearing this jacket, and he had a silk vest.
Yeah, Leno is pretty weird. His car collection is nice, though.
And his waist, it was just silk, and I had...
Shifty Eye Shady says, remember they are flashing laugh signs at the audience. Yeah, but they're the ones laughing too. I mean, like, Leno and Leelee aren't the ones controlling the laugh sign. That's the producer behind it. So they're still laughing about it, though, which is weird. Yeah, no, that's a good point, Use Your Illusions. Them just talking about this in the way people, there is a psychological manipulation of people watching and not questioning. Like, how are people not outraged by this? They should have been burning down Hollywood over this. Because, again, we're not seeing the disclosure here of the age. This kind of makes a little bit more sense, though, because if she was hired at 14, that would have been before she did Deep Impact and these other movies. So maybe the timeline of Illuminati Ritual, Fame, and Fortune does make sense, because apparently she got cast in the role first, even before shooting. Then she shot these other movies, then she shot, even though she was cast for it first. So I guess it does sort of make sense in timeline if this was Illuminati Ritual related.
My stomach was bare, and she had to kind of wrap her arms around him, and since his waist was silk in the back, it was just soft. It was very nice.
Oh, she had a nice...
This is very disturbing to me. Like, I can't tell if she just said that because she wanted to say it or she was told to say it. Like, I really can't tell here. It's very weird. Like, why would you say something like that?
Nice waist.
Yes.
All right, works for me. Nice waist. No, and congratulations on your Emmy nomination. That's very exciting. 17-year-old, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Well, also keep in mind she left Hollywood. She called it gross. So, yeah.
You probably don't get a chance to watch a lot of TV, do you?
I don't. I watch Joan of Arc, but I don't watch
You watch Joan of Arc. Yeah. Now, what are you doing the rest of the summer? Are you doing more movies?
I'm working on a film in Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Court of Public Opinion is saying, look at her face. She's putting him on. I don't know. I couldn't tell. I mean, again, she is a really good actress, though. So, there's certain people I can't really read their micro expressions. I didn't see micro expressions there. So, I really can't tell whether she was putting him on per se, or she was saying that because she wanted to say it, or because she was told to say it.
Minneapolis.
Well, she's definitely smart.
Are you getting fan mail now from guys? Guys that saw Joan of Arc? Like Bob of Arc? Maybe he'd like you.
No. I get fan mail, or I get these really nice 14-year-old guys. You know, we're in your A1 fan club. Can you sign my arm? It's going to go away. No, I'm not going to wash it.
Oh,
all right, but you should wash your arm.
Well, they probably wouldn't, actually, if I...
Glitch says, told, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, her mom is supposedly her manager.
Well, then we wouldn't do the same thing. Well, it's very exciting. You know, each time you come here, you're a bigger star than the last time, so it's wonderful.
All because of you.
No, certainly not. But it's nice to see you mature into a nice woman and a terrific actress.
Thank you.
Leelee, congratulations.
All they show you is dead people sprawled up.
Okay. Yeah, this was just... YouTube's really weird. It just doubled up the glitch. So is that really Pee Wee Herman sitting next to a 17-year-old talking about Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut and her being 14 when she was cast? Is that really what we're watching here on Jay Leno? I mean, this is bonkers. This is bonkers. I mean, this is just so crazy. That, like, knowing what we know now, looking back and watching... Leno is weird, but was there ever anything really damning towards Leno? Let's see if he's on the Epstein list. Anybody see his name on an Epstein list? Yeah, I don't see it. It wasn't on the original list released that everybody said was fake, and then it turned out that most of them were confirmed in court docs. Yeah, I don't see his name on there. He wasn't on the first initial released list, whatever you want to make of that. So I don't know if there's anything really damning regarding Leno, but that was definitely a strange interview. All right, so, I mean, we took a little bit of a dark turn there, but, I mean, it's actually very related to the Illuminati Humiliation Ritual podcast I have coming up. It's definitely going to shock some minds because I'm going to go into some things that, again, what we're talking about here that were normalized in the late 90s, early 2000s that are absolutely bonkers. I mean, it's all with adults, but still, it was absolutely bonkers. MK Ultra connections, Illuminati connections, etc. So, regarding the glass house, it was just extremely well acted. The tension was really on point. Like, movies today really struggle with tension, or even if they have some good tension, they can't maintain it. So the glass house, again, this was supposedly the original cut was almost 3 hours. That's the cut I want to see, and I believe it'll be a much better film because there were certain shortcuts. Like, they never even, again, spoilers, this was a movie, this was an assignment for this Q&A, so there are going to be spoilers in our discussion here. So, well, first of all, Diane Lane was pretty solid in it, too. And Stellan Skarsgård, like, this guy is such a good bad guy. He's a really underrated bad guy. Like, he just always does such a good job at being the bad guy. So apparently he arranged for their parents, so this Leelee Sobieski and her younger brother, he arranged for the parents to be killed so he could become the guardian, and they had like $3 million or several $1,000,000 or something. And what was kind of weird is they were mean to the kids for like no reason. Again, so much was cut. I really would like to see a director's cut of this one day because I believe it would just be extraordinary because what we got, the theatrical cut, was still very solid. Very, very solid. And there were little bits and pieces where it really seemed like things were cut out and they could have had even more development and tension building and all that. And they didn't. But what was left was still really, really good. So and the plot was relatively original there. There were also issues, again, with the new school, the police, and I know there was a subplot cut out because, for those that remember, her high school friends, before they moved to the glass house, there was a scene where they said, just because she forgot about us doesn't mean we forgot about her, and they were going to go visit her at the glass house. So when I was watching it, I actually thought her friends were going to come kind of either save them or play some kind of role in the finale. And then we just never saw them again. So there was definitely more than one subplot cut out there. So, but what we got left, it was still so solid. Just the way everything played out. I don't want to, really give all the spoilers. But the general plot is, these kids, she's kind of troubled. She sneaks out at night a lot, whatever. The parents die in a car accident. And the parents' will named their former next door neighbors, who they were good friends with, went on vacations with, who don't have kids but always wanted kids. They were named in the will as who they were going to live with. because I guess the brother of their uncle apparently travels out of the country a lot. So they named these former neighbors their guardians. So then they move in with them, and I think it's Malibu in this amazing huge house. What's weird from the get-go, though, is they put them in the same room. So I think she's playing, you know what's weird? By this time, she's already 18 or 19 or whatever, but she's playing a 16-year-old. So it's like back for the Glass House, they put it backwards, which obviously that's acceptable. And this movie's like a PG-13 movie. I mean, there's nothing really, super crazy or objectionable in it. So, I mean, there are definitely some tense scenes. Let me double check that it's PG-13. Yeah, it is PG-13. So, yeah, it's, she plays the role really well. And the brother's a little bit annoying, but, the acting is passable from the brother. He's decent. And, yeah, there was also the subplot about the money that the Guardians owe. And apparently there's also Diane Lane's running some kind of drug scam. They could have, I'm sure they went into it more in the 3-hour cut. But I just really would want to see the longer cut, because the movie was already that damn good. And then so Leelee starts noticing like bizarre things with them. But what was kind of strange is like they immediately made it strange. Like if they want to be the Guardians and handle the money, it would behoove them to not have acted strange. I mean, the movie wouldn't have been as creepy early on, because obviously they're building the 3-act structure. It wouldn't have been quite as creepy, but it would have made more sense. But who knows? Maybe the 3-hour cut has even better pacing with everything addressed. So yeah, I would give this movie, I mean, I don't think my score was generous of 8.5. I think it's a really solid movie. I mean, it's really one of the better psychological thrillers of the time period. And it came out right after 9/11, so people weren't exactly even going to the movie. I mean, it was just a very tragic time. So, yeah. Well, so Court of Public Opinion says she got really bad reviews for 88 Minutes, but she actually got a Razzie nomination for the Jason Statham medieval movie that same year as 88 Minutes with Pacino. I gotta watch those. I haven't seen those. Yeah, I mean, if there was ever a documentary made, I think people like Leelee Sobieski would probably be too scared because now she's got kids. I think she'd be too scared to blow the whistle on everything that was going on. Yes, Sphinx Bear, we're finishing this up right now anyway, but yeah, final thoughts on the movie. I really liked it. I like the pacing, I like the acting, I like everything about it. The tension was amazing, the cinematography, the soundtrack. I mean, it's just a shame we never got the director's cut. I mean, it's a shame because it's definitely one of the better movies of the time period. Anybody got any final thoughts on this specific particular movie? I know we kind of went all over the place. This almost turned into a deep dive on Leelee Sobieski and her career and Illuminati rituals, but Denise Snyder said she really enjoyed the movie. The Court of Public Opinion talking about Summer of Sam. We are talking about the Glass House, people. Let's try to stay on topic here. Let's try to stay on topic. Glitch says, I prefer Clueless. I could never make it through that movie, believe it or not. I tried 3 different times. I could not make my way through the movie Clueless. I just couldn't do it. But yeah, so Glass House, definitely one of my favorite psychological thrillers. Next up, we had The Hidden, and perhaps we will also add the remake of Point Break to the watch list. So, hope everybody enjoyed another edition of MindShock Live Q&A 11. We'll be back for more. Plenty more Q&As coming soon, and some big streams with a lot of mind-shocking revelations. Hope everybody enjoyed another one. If you want to help support the podcast, help logic and reason return to a world where it is quickly going extinct, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. This is Bruce McGuire signing off. Catch you guys next time.